Cities Skylines 2 has the traditional zones, residential, commercial, and industrial. But did you know you can set up specialized industrial zones? Yep, you can farm, pump oil, and mine natural resources to feed your city. Let's build some special industrial zones in Cities Skylines 2. Hi, it's Drax. This is the part at the beginning of the video that everyone skips. For those of you that didn't jump forward, enjoy watching and listening. Might you consider supporting me further by visiting my Ko-fi or clicking on the join button on this video? Alright, that's it. Back to the video. Let's start by talking about each of the specialized industrial zones. The last tab is the Specialized tab. Here you'll see a list of all the zones that you can build. Note that not all the zones will be unlocked at the start of the game. Each of these zones will produce needed natural resources for your city. The output of the zone will correlate to the industrial zone in the form of a product. Livestock equals food, coal to help with power, and oil has many uses, such as plastic. These zones are an important part of growing your city and should not be overlooked. When getting ready to build your special industry, I look first at the demand. This can be found under the City Economy tab and then Production. In this video, we're going to focus on the Material tab. Here is the list of all the resources your city currently demands. As your city grows, the demand for resources will go up, so you'll be checking back here often. Let's build some zones. Some of the industries on this list will require special areas to be built, or oil and crops will need corresponding resource areas on the map. These resources are randomly spread throughout each map. However, if you've installed the mod Extra Landscaping, you can add them wherever your heart desires. The livestock farm is the first on the tab. Yep, chickens. They do not require a special area and can be built anywhere. Placing these industries is a bit different from placing a regular zone. First, you'll click on the icon and place the building in your desired location. Once placed, you'll need to select the area to farm. They've made this a circular radius to place, which I always find so funny because the whole game is based on squares. As you can see here, you can add multiple points to lay out the area. To finish, connect back to the building on the opposite side. If done correctly, you'll see the brand new farm. These buildings all require road access, so plan accordingly. The farm only produces a small amount of noise pollution, I'm guessing from all the clucking. So placing them in urban areas shouldn't be that much of a disruption. These farms will produce livestock for the city, which your industrial zones will turn into food and other products. This will in turn produce money and jobs for the city. Grain, vegetable, and textile farming all require fertile land. Just like with livestock farming, placing is exactly the same. When selecting the area to farm, the bigger the area you select, the greater the yield. You can see how much grain, veggies, and cotton you've harvested as you place markers, with the final number as you complete the farm. These three materials will be harvested and shipped off to the industrial zone to create products for your city. The forestry zone needs, you guessed it, trees. There are forest areas throughout the map. When you go to place this building, it works just like with farming. As you select this area, the number of trees harvested will go up, the final number being seen on completion. The forestry zone is usually the first of the special zones I build. It's unlocked at the start of the game, and the demand for wood is always high. Stone mining is next, and just like forestry, I set this up at the start. The demand for stone is high as it's used for building. Setup is the same as the other zones. The only difference is that it does not require a special area and can be built anywhere. Note, it does produce a fair amount of pollution, so maybe don't build this in the middle of a neighborhood. Coal, ore, and oil drilling are the last three on the tab. They all require special areas on the map to operate. Just like with farming when placing, try to maximize the area for the best yields. I tend to build a coal zone early as it will reduce the cost of running my coal plant. It can also generate extra cash by selling the excess coal to your neighbors. Ore is needed in various forms throughout the industrial zone. This produces metal ore, think cars and other industrial products. Oil drilling is the last zone unlocked. Just like in the real world, this is a hot commodity. Black gold is used to make so many wonderful things, like petrochemicals. All three of these special zones are heavy producers of pollution, so keep them away from people. I know that it's not always easy to do, given that the game places the resources for you, but trust me, no one wants to live next to an oil rig. As you build each of the special zones throughout the city, I check back on the production tab often to make sure that I'm meeting the current demand. In the early game, meeting these material demands should be fairly easy. As the game progresses and your city grows, you'll begin to focus on material goods. This tab shows what's being produced in your city. This is where the real juggling comes into play. You'll see everything here from cars, food, and furniture. These products are being demanded by your city. Just like with the base materials, if you can't meet the need, then you'll start to import from outside the city. You can work to build more special and regular industrialized zones to meet these demands. Adjusting the tax rate on these materials can help to lure these businesses to your city. Tax rate adjustment is a fine art, one I'm still trying to master. As you can see, the special industrialized zones are a pretty cool part of Cities Skylines too. I enjoy integrating these areas into the city as it grows. It's easy to get lost in the traffic jams and school needs of a growing city, but don't underestimate the impact these areas will have on your city. I'm constantly checking to make sure that I'm meeting the demands of the basic materials. In the late game, I spent time working on trying to build up the key manufacturing to help the city continue to grow and put more money into the treasury. I hope this video helped you understand these special industrialized zones and how they function inside Cities Skylines 2. Have a zone tip for me? Leave it in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.